Oh.
Wait, no, my way.
No, you too. There we go.
Yeah. There we go. Damn, I was gonna watch an old episode because every time I forget how to start it. But I think this is how it goes. This is the Church of Why. What the fuck but why? Episode Who the fuck knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, dude. So we're back. Take a look around. Let's soak it in. Yeah,
feels good in here.
It does feel good.
It feels good at the church. Hell yeah.
For some reason,
it's been a while.
We know we need to be here, but it's hard to get here.
It's hard to get here.
Yeah, but it's really not that hard to get here.
No, like if we just figure it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like we can talk about normal stuff, but I just wanted to say this. Like I was thinking about it today. For anybody that like wants to podcast and anybody that wants to rap or do anything, I'm telling you, you have to push yourself.
Yeah, you
because
really do.
You're gonna come like say Saturday night, you're gonna be like, dude, we need to like wake up and pod, right?
Yeah.
And then most likely you're gonna wake up and there's gonna be that like you don't want to go because you're at home.
A little bit.
There's a little of it.
Yeah.
So you have to just push yourself.
You gotta
and
fight
show
through
up.
It. Yep.
Yeah, they have the sniffles, so what? It's cold, so what?
Yeah.
Like, just go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, for sure. I have trouble with that because I'm always waiting for like the right time, the perfect time when it's gonna feel perfect to do it.
That doesn't exist.
But it doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah. You gotta fight through that shit, yo.
It never does.
No.
But,
but we made it, dude. Here we are. Yeah. Fucking right. Yeah.
But before we get started, you know what I mean? I had to get my little I gotta get my wokeness going.
Get your red light.
Yeah, I gotta get my red light going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I feel right. I wasn't right before, you know? Now here's what's funny. I was on my way.
The red light rants.
I was on my way and I was like, oh, I should have brought my red light. And I was pissed I didn't bring it. Then I was in my dad's and I like had something in here and I had it in my pocket.
Oh, no shit. You had it with you the whole time. Yeah, I know. No, it's okay.
All right.
Does it make me look funny though?
No, it looks good.
Yeah.
But you know, there's lots of shit going on in the world. Right
yeah,
now.
there's a war going on, bro.
Is
that fucking you up?
We'll keep it for the profit.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm blind.
Yeah, that's for the red light rant.
Yeah, I do that at IPS. I'll be like scanning a package, and they're like, "Yo, dude,
oh, you get it? Yeah, because it's
like
like straight lasers and shit that they're using.
Yeah, I'll laser beam them. But there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and a lot of sensitive stuff.
Lots of
stuff
sensitive
that people
shit.
get really mad about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
triggers, lots of triggers. People were out there fucking triggering.
Yeah, lots of triggers. Yeah. And then now there's like stances where you're getting labeled as this or that.
Right.
So if you come out against trans swimmers, you are a bigot, and they say now you are, damn it, you're on the wrong side of humanity.
Yeah, on the wrong side of history.
History,
That's what everyone's saying.
You.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like,
I kind of get it,
you on
though.
the right side of history, or like what the fuck?
But like, there's a pinch of me that kind of gets it.
Yeah.
Because when you watch documentaries, there would be the people with, you know, like those two black girls going to school, and they're like calling them the N-word, and it's like, what side of history are you on?
Oh, damn, I never saw that.
You never saw that? It was like the first time they integrated school. And there was
at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Elizabeth Eckford had missed the call to gather with the others before school. Elizabeth Eckford walked alone and met a mob.
And it's like looking back on it now, I always wonder, what do they think of that? They must be like ashamed of it or not.
Who? The people that were in the video
screaming at them.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or do they still feel that way? So I think now people are saying, like, tread lightly. Like, what side of history do you want to be on? When you look back, do you want to be on the side that was open and accepting, or do you want to be on the side of that was against letting people just live.
Just be, yeah.
Just be.
Yeah, and I think it's getting more and more towards that. Like, people are definitely opening up more. There's more compassion in the world. There's more empathy in the world. It just takes, like, it takes an open mind to be able to get to that point, and it's hard for people to fucking open up their mind.
Yeah.
Because you got to free your mind first.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, if you have all these set ideas or these set beliefs on what, like, trans people are, like, what are they?
Right.
You know, and you're set in your ways saying, like, or thinking that that's wrong.
Yeah.
To be able to break free of that, like, you have to free your mind. And then you can open up your mind.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. We're just going to talk about this real quick. And everybody, it's cold up here. We're sniffling.
Yeah.
I actually have to hawk a loogie, but I don't want people to think it's a Coke drip. So I've been, like, balling it up.
Yeah, a little mucus.
There it is. All right.
Yeah, get the mucus out.
So, all right, let's talk about the swimmer real quick.
Okay.
Okay, everybody knows by now. There's a
what's her name?
I'll put it up right here.
Len something.
Okay, Len.
Maybe.
Now here's the problem that I'm noticing in the comments in the Facebook. Everybody fighting. There's two separate issues because a lot of people don't agree with trans in general. So then they're using their bigotry to hate on this guy or girl. Whereas for me, I'm totally okay with trans people, but I don't think he should be swimming with women.
Right.
So you're going to call me a bigot because I think a man shouldn't swim with women?
Yeah.
I'm a bigot for that, or I'm a transphobe for that.
See, and that
makes no sense.
That's where, like, the trigger, and that's where all the hostility comes in.
Yeah.
Is that. And it's nuts because, like, you really do have to put yourself in the position of the swimmers that are already swimming. Like, the women, they're just, the trans people are coming in and breaking records.
Yeah, right.
You know? And then, like, I think about, like, the person who breaks the record, like the trans woman that goes and breaks the record. Like, is she fully satisfied with doing that?
I know.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what, like,
I know.
It's like, okay, I was a man for 25 years, and now
400th
I'm a woman.
place.
Yeah.
450,
He was 450th place in the NCAA or whatever swimming.
Yeah.
And then whenever he went into the women's league, he got one. He got first. He got number one. It's like, are you satisfied with that?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Well,
like, it'd be fun to talk to someone like that.
The only thing I like about it is now these talks of women can compete with men. Let's dead that. They can't.
They can't.
Because there was like a little like WNBA players wanted to play in the NBA.
Right.
And it's like in UFC.
There was some of that?
Yeah, a
I
little
didn't see
bit. A
that.
little trickle of it.
Yeah,
And
okay.
maybe some could, but I just want to give my answer, okay? Because one thing I wanted to say is, from now on, I hate when people bitch or they complain or they think they have the answer, but they don't have the solution. So it's like when you're arguing against something, I want to hear your solution. Don't just bitch about it. Tell me, how can they fix it?
Okay.
I think she should just swim with men.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest route.
Yeah.
Then you're letting women play with men, which is more fair than women with men.
Right.
So maybe some bitch like, oh, women shouldn't be with men, but at least it's fair.
At least
and
it's fair.
If they get
so then
beat,
it would just be a trans woman competing with men.
That's how
just
it should be.
I've never heard that.
That's why I should be president.
Oh, social prophet, yo.
Yeah.
You're fucking coming out with a banger right there. Yeah.
Bow, bow, bow.
And it sucks that we can't get, like...
I don't get why you've never
knew.
heard that before. I keep saying that in comments before I got banned. Fuck you, Facebook.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why isn't anybody seeing that angle of it?
Yeah, no, I
Just
never...
swim with men.
Have you mentioned it at Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I haven't been fucking with Facebook at all.
One more thing I want to say is, like, I've been looking through mad comments, which I shouldn't, but sometimes I like it. I haven't seen one person defend it. Not one.
No.
Not one person I know that is even pro-trans has defended him, her, swimming with women, and I would love to debate somebody who thinks that's fair.
Yeah,
I would just love to debate somebody that thinks it's fair for a man to swim with women.
And
I'd pay for that interview.
Yeah.
What? Tell me, what is in a fucking
dude,
head?
We'll give you a hat. We'll give you a t-shirt if you want to come on.
Bang, bang, bang. I'll put up a merch commercial right here. Yeah. Boom! So that's that issue.
Yeah,
do you
that's
feel,
a big
do you agree
one.
with me?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I mean, it's hard but it's such a touchy subject, and like what sucks is that the rage and like the emotion that people who are for trans people, and like we are for, like both of us have said, we're for trans people.
I'm for people to do
I'm
whatever
for
the fuck they
people.
want.
Yeah, dude, I'm for a free choice. Like you should be
Yeah.
allowed to do whatever the fuck you want, just as long as you're not hurting other people. But like it gets messy whenever you start getting into societal shit. And that's what this is. It's just getting messy.
But it's
and the
okay.
amount of rage. Yeah, it's okay.
It
I just wish
happens.
people could calm down their rage
Yes.
factor. Like just cool it down whenever if we have our opinion, like
Yes.
with what your opinion was, why don't they just swim with men?
Right.
Like you can't, you have to actually like soak that in. And,
Yeah.
and like really think
Soak
on
it,
it. Just
yeah.
don't just get angry and fucking start
Right.
yelling and then just
Right.
raise the freaking roof because you don't agree.
Yeah.
You know?
Period.
Yeah, it really is.
Because I really didn't even want to talk about it, but yeah, because Kirby posted about that trans. See, this is why there's so many layers. That's what I was getting to. There's layers of this shit. Okay?
Yeah.
So you have trans rights, okay, and then you have trans. The integration of trans.
Integration
And
is
hold
where
on.
it's at.
There's another level. There's 3 levels.
Okay.
Kids.
And kids.
That's why there's always going to be a fight.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. So let's. Oh, we did rights. I think they should have all their rights.
They should have all
Everything.
their rights. 100%.
Yeah.
Integration.
Sports, I think if a man changes to a woman, he should play with men. What
Yeah.
you're biologically born with.
Right,
Maybe
right.
in 20 years, once you're fully, the hormones, it's all gone.
What about
they
if
can-
a woman transitions to a man and she wants to compete with the men?
No women with men.
No women with men.
Zero.
Keep it with,
Yeah,
okay.
0.
So then they'll be competing with women, but they'll be on all the testosterone and stuff like that.
Tricky. Fuck.
Tricky.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Until there's more trans that they can have their own league, but that will never happen.
I
though.
know. Yeah,
This is not
it
the
won't.
same.
I know. That's why it almost feels like it's something that's just being used to cause friction in our society.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then, the last tier is kids, and when should you let kids
Right.
trans
Yes,
over?
in that post.
Yeah, and the thing that, Mrs. Prophet posted was showing, I'll put it up here for you people to see, was like a girl who was wrapping her breasts, is younger, probably like 10, 11, 12, and she kept bandaging it so she didn't have them.
Yeah, because she wanted to be a boy.
She was suicidal. She was depressed. And, you know what I'm saying? So eventually they cut her hair. And it shows a picture of her with, like, this big smile. And everybody's like, oh!
Yeah.
And she was so cute, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was her at the Rite Aid or whatever with, like, medicine. And a
Okay.
huge smile. And then it transitioned to her as, like, an 18, 19-year-old, like, boy. And then then the next picture was him smiling as, like, a 25-year-old man with, like, chest hair. And he looked like a boy.
Okay.
And it was like,
And
so,
he was
and
happy.
in Texas, you would go to jail for that, or it's
Okay.
illegal.
Okay.
So what they're saying is like, so you're saying you'd rather him kill yourself because the statistics are showing that they're 50% more likely to kill themselves if they don't, or if they aren't accepted. That there's a 50% that when they're accepted as their he/she pronoun, there's a 50% chance, or they're 50% more likely to not kill themselves. If
Right,
people accept-
right,
it's
right.
tricky
If they're
little thing.
accepted. Yeah.
But then it gets into kids and shit.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean that gets super tricky, dude. It's like
Yeah.
fuck, man. Like if your kid, like if you have like an 11-year-old kid that is a girl and wants to be a boy, and they want to have medicine, should they be allowed to get the estrogen
And
or
then
whatever?
cutting their.
the
I say no.
hormones?
Cutting
Yeah,
your
no,
dick
no
off.
cutting, dude.
Nah.
I don't think there should be cutting until you're 18 at least.
Yeah.
I just, you can't be cutting. You can't be doing surgery
Our
on
brains
kids
aren't fully
like that.
developed yet.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like we really got to talk to one.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
we
we need people.
Because remember last podcast we said like we're not going to talk about black people unless there's a black person in the room,
Right.
And then we started talking.
And then we started talking about black people.
Yeah, but it's like it just. This is like what I wanted to segue. But, just to further maybe put our foot in our mouth, I say we just keep going with this. Let's just keep talking about shit that can get us canceled.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I remember I said I wasn't going to say that anymore. Did you see my post?
What, being canceled?
I'm sick of the word canceled.
Yes.
And I was saying that, this is what's happening to me. I'll say something funny or slightly edgy, and even the people that are anti-cancel culture will joke that I'm going to get canceled. So it's like I'm rather getting canceled or they're joking that I'm going to get canceled. So no matter what you say, it's like canceled.
Yeah. So you want to kill cancel culture altogether, just by stop saying it.
Just like Jay-Z said, death of auto-tune, which didn't work. So I'm going death of cancel.
Okay.
Segment.
Death to cancel. Yeah, put that on a t-shirt.
Wow, you're looking at me. Look down. You see that, right? Behind my laptop down here. Subscribe. So, I like to bring some stuff up in the group, and this guy posed a question for us. And I say it's no better than two white guys to answer this question.
Right.
All right. He was like, yo, I got a question. If black people are offended by the use or the word N-word, then why the hell do they use it all the time? Shouldn't it be stopped on all platforms if it's derogatory? Asking for a friend, one love, meaning he means love.
Yeah,
he's generally
asking, it's
an
honest question.
If you stop saying it, nobody will say it. If a white man says it, he's automatically a racist. But doesn't it work both ways? Hypocritically, yours, my ninja. So,
that's a age-old question right there, Jason Fryer.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of people ask that question, right? Like, why can't, see, it's hard to talk about this topic.
It is, yeah.
You can't say it.
I know.
But anyways, who cares? I'm not scared to say it.
No, yeah, go ahead.
So, why can't white people say
nigga?
So that's a good question.
It's a great question.
Yeah. So I want to hear, have you thought about it? Because we kind of talked about it.
So bring it on. So bring it on.
Yeah, this goes back from the European days. Like, the word nigga was a form that Europeans would describe a lower class of being of people. Okay. So if you was to call
ER or A? You're going ER?
Like nigga, like I would say with the ER, that, not pronunciation, but they would use that as, you're a low class person. So
belittling.
Yeah, so if you call another white man, a European man, a nigga, he's going to take it offensive because you're pretty much putting somebody in a group of people that are beneath you. So during the transitions of the 1700s, the 1800s, that's what Europeans used to identify black people, like minorities. And through the 50s and 60s, comedians like Richard Pryor, they started using it a lot more.
Do you know when it started? Like, when did the A get thrown on it? Do you know? I'll try to look it up if you don't know for this pod, but
I would say,
what's the birth of?
It's pretty much the reason I would say white people can't say nigga is like it comes from the target. Pretty much, it's a word to describe black people in the worst way. Mm-hmm. So what in these cases, it's like pretty much saying that. How come you could fuck your girl, but I can't fuck your girl? It's a double standard thing. Right. But black people would use it as an endearment. Black people have this thing where they make everything beautiful, but it's like the same thing of calling a little person a midget. Mm-hmm. That's offensive.
Well,
it's like saying, why can't I call a person a midget? Like, it's pretty much offensive.
So, all right, I'm just going to ask you questions. And this is a tricky. It's a tricky subject. So everybody here, we know, we may stumble on a couple questions or whatever, right? And for anybody, you might show this to people at the church. Like we said before, we just bounce around ideas.
Yep, that's all it is.
This is what we're about.
Yeah.
Okay? So then how come Spanish people get a pass to say it?
Latinos.
Yeah, Latinos.
Because when you think about it, Spanish people...
Because they beef. They're rivals.
A lot of Spanish people have this thing, they don't want to relate to themselves as black people or niggas, because if you go back in time, where did you guys come from?
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. When countries was being dominated, it was European. You had England, you had Spain, and you had France. So which of these countries that they dominated, they'll bring their slaves and they'll sleep with these slaves and make these people for that country. For example, Haiti, where I'm from, France took over one part of the island. The slaves spoke France.
Okay.
On the other side of the island, Spain took over and they spoke Spanish. So the slaves spoke Spanish on one side and we spoke French on the other. And where you see these darker Dominicans is because, you know, Spain was sleeping with their slaves, and that's where they get that lighter complexion. So
right,
they don't really look at it as, they don't want to be called a nigga, because they know back then you was a low class person to be called that.
So how did they end up calling each other that? Like Fat Joe, Big Pun. That's all they say. Every other word.
Because they go back into the Afro-Latino
culture.
Yeah.
They'll
go, because you.
But how do black people feel about it deep down? Not you. I know you're cool and like you're like, but like how do some feel about it?
But they're, well, the way we look at you guys are black.
That's how you most look at it.
You guys are black, so a lot of them just don't.
Like Fat Joe is black to you, basically.
Yeah, you call a Dominican person black, they take it offensive. They look just like me.
But they'll take offense to
black.
it.
Really?
Black. Yeah.
Guess who's saying it now? Asian people. Like, cause like now there's like a culture in LA where they're like Crips and stuff.
Okay.
They say it a lot.
Yeah, because like I said, it was.
And they're using it as a term of endearment, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Because remember, minorities will cling on to something they all could relate to.
Yeah.
So that's why black people would use it, because we are in a group that was called it, and we started calling each other that.
Yeah.
And it started happening with Richard Pryor. Then in the 80s, it started getting into rap music, and that's when we started saying that. Me growing up, my father never said nigga.
Never.
Ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where we from, we're not called niggas where we're from. Like Haitian people, they don't know what that word is. Because
Really?
back remember in the 1800s, Haiti was the only country that defeated France and they was independent. So you to call a Haitian person a nigga, they gonna look at you like, what is that? Because, you know, like, we're free. That was that's what they started using that in America more, because they know that racist white people would say it to offend a black person. So in Europe, it really wasn't a bad term like that. That's what they just called people. In America, they just made it.
So they didn't say ER in Europe as much? Or I never even thought about that.
Yeah, I never even thought. Yeah.
Nigga, to me, it's the same thing. Like, you know,
Really?
how you put a spin on it, you know, it's the same thing to me. But growing up in Brooklyn, I had a lot of white friends that grew up in the hood, and I guess, you know, you get a pass after a while. Or for me, black people will just look at a white person and be like, yo, you just like us. You know, we come up through the strength.
Like, wait, you said a white guy or?
White guy. Yeah, I got a lot of white friends, Max, CJ, they say it.
So they say
time.
it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And they're from Ireland.
Okay.
But their parents are from Ireland. They're born in Brooklyn. So they get a pass for that, because I feel that they was brought up in the same environment.
Yeah.
And we look at them as such. So they fall into that minority group because the
it's
white
a class
people,
thing.
But
It's not like a color thing. It's a class
but
thing.
not every black person would feel like that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Same thing. You go to a Jewish person and you tell a Jewish person, oh, you're a white man. They take it very offensive. They don't
want to be called a white man. Nobody does.
Really? Yeah, nobody does.
I would say like being called white is like a diss now.
It is.
It's a new N word.
Yeah, well, they use Caucasian a lot now. The Caucasians. Or what's the other one? The colonizers.
Oh,
that's a big one.
That's a good
colonizers.
One.
Yeah.
But they usually call people from Europe colonizers.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying?
You think there's still people that are colonizers like today, or is that like just talking about like what happened back then?
No, of course. You got people that colonize today. Like, you know, they take advantage of different countries and stuff like that. They'll buy
even like neighborhoods, like there's gentrification. Like there's people coming in and like colonizing like the the poorer communities and making it all hip and shit.
Yeah, same thing in Brooklyn. Like the way they did Brooklyn, nobody
I
back
can't
in the
imagine.
days wanted to live.
I heard
in
it looks like
Brooklyn.
Disney World.
Yeah,
now.
no, it's like,
Now?
yeah, it's
Oh my
crazy,
gosh,
huh?
nothing will happen to you.
I know, we
All
gotta
kinds of
go.
fancy
We gotta
Frappuccino
go, dude.
fucking stores and shit. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brooklyn now it's so modern that it's like, and everybody wants to live there, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Really?
That's another reason why.
Is there still like parts of Brooklyn that are hood?
There's hood everywhere?
Yeah.
It's just
So big.
what happened is
Is it like per
just-
street?
Yeah, I would say, but for the most part, like for white people living in New York, I feel like they're more safe around black people. They could be around the violent, most black people out there, and
Yeah.
nothing will happen to you if you're a white person.
Well, I wanted
That's how it is in New York.
like I was saying before about the tiers, because with this argument, there's tiers to it. Okay, so then you have black people saying it, you have white people saying it, and then we get into rap music.
Yeah.
White people rapping along with music. This issue bugged me. There was a girl on Nickelodeon, and she was on Instagram Live, and they were playing with Chris Brown. I'm trying.
He lost you.
Here, I'll this. So you have, white people wanting to say it in music. In this, I was telling a story. So this white girl from Nickelodeon, she was on Instagram Live. There was a song in the background, and she was just singing along, and she accidentally said part of the song, okay. Which was the N-word, okay? And then she got like canceled, kicked off Nickelodeon or whatever she was on, and she was like on Instagram crying like, "I'm sorry, I'm not a racist." I'm like, how is she racist for singing along to a goddamn song? And if you look up the definition of racist, it's like it's like you don't like them, you think you're beneath them. So if you're singing along to rap and you want to be a rapper, or you're like, it's almost like you're the opposite. You want to be black. So how is wanting
it's
to
almost
be black
like an
racist?
admiration to it.
Yes.
Like it's especially when it's in music, it's like an art form. So people, when they are singing along with it, it's like an upbeat. Like you got to think about the energy coming from it.
I know. How do you stop yourself?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It's like every other word.
Like, you think she
sometimes.
should have been canceled for that shit?
No, I don't think so. Like, I just feel like if it's going to be incorporated into songs,
Right,
I
if you're-
feel like everybody should sing it.
That's
like,
how you feel? That's your stance on
Do
it?
you think it's like a power thing? Like, since like black people were suppressed and oppressed for so long by white people, and then it's almost like black people taking some type of power, to say you can't say this fucking word.
I call ours forefather karma. That's what
Yeah,
we're
but
dealing
like I
with.
said,
Forefather bad karma.
Yeah, it
Forefather
is.
karma.
Yeah,
When you look
generational
up the
shit.
word itself is just a double standard. It's
Yeah,
just like,
it's a tricky
it's
one.
Just, I didn't make the rules.
Yeah.
I really care less if a white person say it or not. Like, it doesn't offend me.
Yeah, but you're on that. You're more due, I would say.
No,
More do?
More care if a white
Fuck
guy
is a
says
more
it.
do?
No,
Oh,
I
yeah,
got,
yeah.
I got quoted maybe. No, I would say
No idea what you're
maybe
saying.
twice, maybe 3 times a white person's called me a nigga, and then the first thing I thought to myself was like, I was trying to really get.
Did you give me
upset.
that scenario?
Oh, really?
What
You were
happened?
trying to do it. Yeah.
What
I was in
happened?
Brooklyn, and it was a Russian guy, and was coming out the store. Me and my brothers, they was getting some cigars for us to roll some weed and stuff, and we was in his path, and my younger brother actually stepped on his shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and then he said, "What the fuck you did, you little nigga?" Da, 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 da. And then my brother said, "What?" No, I asked him, "What did you say?" He said,
Yeah.
"You fucking nigga." And then I sat there for a second. I stood there
Mm-hmm.
in the store, and I'm like, I really can't get mad. Like, there's nothing for me to get mad
Yeah, you
about.
weren't
I'm like,
giving
that's
him
how
power.
he feel. That's how he feel. But I didn't really get into that race to do something because it's been said all around.
This
Like,
is
That's
I
the
don't
move right there, bro. That's the move. Because
Yeah.
once you get mad, then you're giving him the power.
I know
Yeah,
it
but
does.
You really are. Once if
But
you get mad
growing
right
up-
back.
But growing up, that word was never used. I only heard it in rap songs. to
Really?
be
Just
honest.
never was
Really?
used.
And
It wasn't even like a term of endearment between boys.
I didn't call my boys. I never really said nigga growing up.
Yeah.
Like, back then I was into wrestling
Interesting.
and stuff like that. So
Oh, you're a wrestler?
Yeah.
Look right there.
Oh,
Did you
fuck,
see
I
that
ain't know
shit?
you're a wrestler.
Yeah, I grew up like Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. That was my guy back in the
Okay.
90s.
Yeah.
So I grew up, but
All right, I'll challenge you. Name everybody on that desk right there.
you got Hulk Hogan, you got Lex Luger. I know his name is not coming up. Oh,
The big fat guy.
Steiner brother.
yeah, the Steiner brother. This guy is.
I forget his name. I forget
With the mullet, the dude with the mullet.
Mr. Perfect. That's an OG
Yeah, I
Mr.
would
Perfect.
say-
That looks like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then King
say
Kong.
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then King
I would
Kong
say-
Bundy.
And
King
I
Kong
don't
Bundy.
remember his name.
King Kong Bundy.
Right.
Yeah,
That's that old shit.
Yeah,
Were
I
you
love old wrestling, dude.
Oh, man.
I could do a podcast on old wrestling, like just
You
watching
should.
90s
You should do a
clips.
red light on it.
Yeah, or
Red
me
light
and you, we should
wrestling.
review some old 90s
Yeah,
clips,
dude, that'd be sick, yeah.
Yeah, like how I did the music with Casey.
Yeah.
Promote.
We keep concentrates, I pray none of you niggas play with me. Fuck around and get gunned down low, boy, you better play for cheese. Shawty got
I'm gonna get this one up.
I let her eat me,
This shit hard.
swallow, that's that
Love
dick.
that. But so
So you never used it. You just didn't. It wasn't in your world really.
It's a.
And then you had a white dude call your brother that, and it didn't even piss you off. That's
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. It's just Cause like I said, I was raised different. My father raised me and my brothers much different. I remember the first thing I learned growing up was about the Germans and the Nazis and how they mistreated, Jewish people and people of their color. And I had to understand to love different people. Before I learned my culture, that's who I learned, and to stay away from that type of energy. So
Yeah.
I learned that from my dad. So another first song I had to learn was "We Are the World, We Are the Children." Remember that
yeah,
song?
Michael Jackson. Yeah.
I had to recite that. I had to learn that song by 6. And every day
Really?
from school, my father would have me and my brothers sing the song
Really.
every day. It was so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this guy. Oh my gosh.
Every day he made you sing it.
Every day.
That's intense.
And
One world, one
what
people.
were you? What
huh?
did your dad grow you up on? Like, what was his structure? Like his philosophy on life? Like my dad had one. I won't get into it because I talk.
Yeah,
all
did
the
you guys
time.
have
What's
like a
your-
religious background or anything?
Just
No,
everything.
like, we grew up Christian, but my father didn't really believe that for black people because that was something.
The white
he
man.
White
felt-
Jesus.
Yeah, that was forced on us.
Yeah,
It was
that's so true.
Like same thing like with people in Europe like Muslims and stuff like that. That's a culture. It's like you being brought into slavery if you lived in Israel and they make you forget all about you being Muslim and like, oh, now you're a Christian, but you don't know nothing about being a Muslim. So
Right.
that's kind of like how black people are,
Huh.
like Africans. Like,
Yeah,
we don't
dude,
know. We coulda-
100%.
we had a
Don't even
different
know,
religion.
Yeah.
We brought all
good
over
point.
the world, My
And like
boat-
your past was erased.
Yeah,
a lot of black
my
people's
boat-
past were erased, dude. Like
right.
completely.
Yeah, so
fucking
my
erased.
boat was landed in Haiti. A lot of black people boats was landed in America. Like just different types of black people.
Right.
So like I feel like the Caribbean black people don't find nigga offensive because over there that it wasn't being said a lot.
Oh, okay.
So like
So what's Caribbean? What would you say? Like what areas?
like Trinidad, Jamaica.
Okay.
Remember England conquered those countries, so Jamaicans have that English accent.
Okay.
And the same thing like with Haiti, like we have the French accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like French don't use nigga. They're like nigga. Like French, they don't even know that's not even a word they use.
Yeah.
But it comes
Wow.
from Europe.
Yeah.
So that's more of something from Spain that they
Okay.
used to, say to us. Another derogatory word would be like a spick.
Okay.
You call
That's
a Spanish
another
person.
big one.
Yeah.
That's
Speaking no
uh,
Spanish, you speaking no English.
That's
That's
a
why
big-
you call it
Yeah.
a spick. It's a very racist word, but I don't think you hear Spanish people calling each other spicks.
No, they don't.
You
It's
know?
there's not like a term. They don't have it in their music or anything like that.
you'd have to find a different letter for K. That's tough.
Yeah,
Like, the
that
N word
was.
just worked. Like, I don't even want to say that word, but like, what would you replace K to make it cooler with?
K?
Yeah, because like, or how do you spell C?
Yeah.
How do you
Spic.
spell it?
S-P-I-C?
So you have to flip that. Cool. Like he said, black people have a way of making everything beautiful.
Oh,
So you have to
so
find-
instead
that's a-
of the ER, they make it an A, so it makes it lighter.
Yeah,
I
but that's
hear
a
you.
tough word
It
to,
is to like transition to mix spick into
it's a
something.
harsh word.
Yeah.
And it's like a.
You'd say like speed. Like what up, speed?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or span.
Yeah.
Span. What up, Spanny?
Yeah. So I think,
I mean, like white people don't have a word.
no, because cracker never even made
Cracker
sense.
never-
Because
yeah.
that meant we were the slave whipper.
Yeah.
Like, or the crack. That's what I always heard.
Oh, is that what it was? I
'cause
thought
we
it was just
cracked
because
the
like
whip.
fucking saltines and shit.
No,
White ass
no.
crackers. No?
Right, Evan? Isn't it from the Whip? I
The
always
Whip,
heard it was
that
from the
makes
Whip.
sense.
No, I thought like black comedians made that up.
Nah,
That's
it's from back in the
fire.
slave days because it'd be cracking the whip.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that
cracker.
could have been.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
right? I
that
think we're
does
gonna
make
we can go
sense.
with that. Yeah. And the cracker was just like, ironic that we do look like a cracker.
Yeah, okay. The saltine came later.
Yeah, so
Okay.
no, I totally understand why black people don't want white people saying it, but my argument is in rap music because I went on a podcast and debated this, okay, and it was with two rappers, and I said, well, when you perform, when white people say it, do you stop the show? Do you get mad? They're like, hell no, we're happy they sing the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know. And then then the one dude before that was like, well, it's not for y'all. I'm like, but okay, why don't you ask Jay-Z, Puffy, and all them let's just not sell rap to white people. Would they do that?
Yeah.
Hell no. So
No
there's a
way,
catch-22 in the whole thing.
Yeah.
That you do need the white dollar. Everybody needs every dollar. But let's be real, there's more white people in America. So without, though white people, I always say, ruined hip-hop, it also helped it explode. The catch-22. That's why I hate in arguments when people get too defensive. It's like, come on, there's lots of
there's
layers
different angles and layers.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's gray. There's a lot of gray going on.
That's a better way to say
Yeah.
it. So when I guess when white people say it in a song, as a white guy, I'm giving them a pass.
Yeah, but another guy you could actually.
The prophet gives you a pass.
Gives you a
What's his
pass,
name?
yeah.
Jesus Slim. That white boy.
Slim Jesus.
Slim Jesus.
Yeah.
You remember he
A
was
white
on
rapper.
Vlad. Yeah, he was on
From
Vlad a while
Chicago.
ago. And he was saying white people shouldn't even want to use the word.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like,
But rap's so influential in the beat.
But I'm just saying to
the
just
look. It's
but that's
hard.
different for me in the song. White people singing in the song, that's different.
I
Than,
know. We need to figure that
going
out.
unless that's your homeboy, you grew up
Yeah.
with him and stuff like that. Yeah, cool. But
Yeah.
everybody, you don't know anybody's reaction, so everybody
Yeah.
take things much different.
Completely
Yeah.
different.
So-
Yeah.
It's like, I guess what I'm saying, if a white guy does, don't call him racist. Think of a different word. It's a different word. He's not a racist for doing
he's
that.
just an asshole.
He's maybe he's like a culture
Ignorant.
vulture, ignorant,
Yeah.
insensitive.
Right.
But racist.
Does
is
it
the
matter the way you say it too? Because if someone just says it, like how the whole Rogan thing, how he was
Yeah, do you
saying
know
it like
about
in
that?
context, he never called anybody
Look, with
that.
Rogan, I felt Rogan didn't even say anything wrong about. I think what Rogan was explaining a story, and Rogan's one of those.
But you're talking
white
about the
guys-
planet. You're talking about the Planet of the Apes thing. There's two different.
all across
things.
the board. You
Okay.
could even go to
He
that.
used hard R several times.
But I know where he's coming from because
Yeah.
I grew up with white friends just like him, like Max, CJ. They remind me.
I
of
always
Rogan.
cringed when he said it. I'd be like,
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
yeah.
But no, it's just the way I look at it, I don't think he meant it no way.
I
It's like you
know,
gotta ask
but-
yourself a lot of white kids never grew up with black kids. They, especially in schools, you don't know how they
Yeah.
are and stuff like that. LeBron James was on a podcast and he said the first time he spent a night at his white friend's house, they go to bed at 7.
Yes.
Dinner's at 5. He's like, it was all new to him because black people, we eat much later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dinner's at 8 and 9 and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We don't go to bed till later.
Must have just been the 25-minute limit. Might have to click it again. Did not turn it on. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say I have another battery.
So yeah,
LeBron, yeah.
like even with LeBron, like Dave Chappelle made a joke about it, because especially when we how we growing up, white people will have different stuff that we'll have in our house. Like Dave Chappelle said it. He stayed at his friend's Timmy house, and his mother was like, you know what, we're gonna have stovetop tonight. He's like, stovetop? We only see shit like that in the commercial. Niggas never have that shit in our house, right? So he's excited to have stovetop for the first time. So it's like the atmosphere is much different. And
Okay.
especially if you don't, be raised in that type of culture, you'll never know.
Something
You know what I'm
new.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I was fortunate to grow up with my brothers Max and CJ, and to get an understanding from where they come from.
Both ways that helps.
It's crazy, but ignorance is a bliss.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
So if you don't have a black friend where you could go and get information from, be at his house, be around his culture and stuff like that, you will never understand black people. There's all types of black people.
Yeah, just like I always.
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing
different.
with white people. There's
I know.
different types of white people. White people could say the word nigga, and you go automatically know like he's not a racist just by like his
the way they say
his spirit. Like he's not saying it to hurt somebody, but for me, I don't care.
Right. It's kind of like because where we grew up, like out here, I always call it white bread America because like in our high school, I don't know how many black people were in your school, but there was only like, it was like a class of like 700 people and there were maybe 4 black kids. And it like, I would see a lot of like, I'd call it like fake racism. Like they thought it was funny to say the word. You know what I mean? And my white buddy, white people, it wasn't like they were racist. They would just say it thinking it was funny
white humor
around other white people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like, and my one buddy, Jeremy, who was a black kid, he beat the shit out of the one dude.
Really?
Yeah. It was a big fight at the orchard and shit, and he kicked his ass.
It's the same thing. Like the way I look at the term is like I'm not going to go around Jewish people and be like Hail Hitler.
Yeah,
you know, it's the same thing as saying nigga to a black person. Like, you know, Jewish people could talk about what happened to them, but I feel like it's offensive if other people talk about what happened to them.
So do you think that Joe should have just said the N-word every time instead of saying the ER?
There's a
because they say like a true. Sorry, not to cut you off. They say that you shouldn't even be able to bring yourself to say those words. I can't. I'll be dead honest. I can't say. You know. You always make fun of me. I can't say it.
I've said it. I've said it with the R, and it's just like saying with context. Like just it's a word.
I just can't.
And like whenever like I try and put like logic behind it. It being a word like how what you were describing, like how you didn't give that guy the power. Yeah. You know, when he called your brother that, you didn't give him the power, and I just feel like that
because it is a word at the end of the day. It is kind of weird if you say it around black people. It's a word.
You can tell when people are just trying to get a rise out of you. Who's just trying to get me excited.
Where's the intention behind the word?
Yeah, like, you know, but
like let's say me and Luke were talking alone in a room, and he's like, "Oh man, I was at Giant Eagle today, and I saw this white guy call this white black dude a
nigga."
Yeah,
give my name. Yeah, all right. It's like, is that racist of him to say it?
Right.
Is that racist of him to say it? Because, like, I feel like it's just a word until it's thrown as a weapon.
At someone. At somebody. Yeah, right. So you can go ahead and just say,
nigga.
I got something laughing.
Yeah, without, I don't even, I was trying it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. Let's get better with it right now. Yeah. But,
I was thinking too much about it while I was talking.
Puts him on the spot real fast.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what
yeah.
But so I feel like there's two, again, more layers to this. If two white guys are talking about it alone in a room, the word itself should just be a word. But I understand if you use it in front of black people or at a black person, you can't cop out with it's just a word, bro. No, because you weaponized it.
Yeah, because you weaponized it.
Yes, but the word itself. But Rogan on a podcast, again, tricky.
Yeah,
I understand why it was upsetting for black people to see a compilation of it. It was the compilation.
The compilation that hit it. Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't happen earlier.
He said, hold on. Sorry. He's been waiting for it.
Yeah?
That's what he said. He's been waiting. He said it felt good once it came out.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I knew it was coming.
He just won't say it again.
Yeah.
I don't think what he mean he won't say it again. I just think he was like paraphrasing and just speaking in generality about what was going on.
People got fired. The CEO of Netflix got fired for in a meeting. They said, like, we can't say
nigga.
And he got fired for that. It was in a boardroom.
Yeah.
Just saying, because he didn't mean it like that. He was just saying, all right, guys, can't say this, can't say
this, you can't say this word, you can't say this
something like that.
Like, I don't think you can say retard either, can you?
You just did. But,
you can't. I
said re.
See, that's weak.
And then, it's tough, man. Oh, here's okay. We're gonna riff off this a little bit. But my problem with the whole, let's say Trump. Okay, they like silenced Trump, and now they're using that to silence everybody. And I always tell this when I tell black people.
Yeah, there's bigger things at play.
Well, when I tell black people, I'm like, I get it. Trump's an asshole. Trump's this. Trump's that. But it just starts with Trump, and then soon rappers can't talk, and that's what's happening. A lot of rappers are starting to get in trouble.
Really?
They're not letting Kanye on the gram. Like, it's trickling down to black culture, and I knew it was gonna go there.
Yeah.
And then soon it's gonna be calling women bitches and hoes. They're gonna. I'm telling you it because it just shit rolls downhill.
Censorship, dude. They're totally coming after the first.
So when you defend, sometimes you're not defending the person. You're defending his right to say it.
Right.
Remember that. That's all I'm saying. You're not necessarily defending him or the person saying it, but just his right to motherfucking say it.
Yeah.
And if, you know, I always say people don't care about free speech until it's their turn to talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Every single time, dude.
Yeah. So, sorry. You guys
That's
can talk.
huge.
I just had to get that off. But yeah.
Feel good? You feel better?
Yeah, I feel good.
Right.
Yeah, blew up the thing. But yeah, so yeah, you know, it's just tricky. Like I just got banned from Facebook. That's why I'm bringing it up, and it's getting
And what were you banned
frustrating.
for? You were banned for something stupid.
I just said that. You know, did you guys all see that 14-year-old that fell off the Ferris wheel?
Oh my gosh.
Did
That's
you
Yeah.
see it? Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
actually
that's
watch the video.
terrifying.
I couldn't.
I
It's
don't wanna
terrifying. The seatbelts.
Yeah, so all I said was, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, what did I say? Basically, all I said was that nowadays, the older I get, when I sit down in a ride, all I do is look out and see who's in charge with my safety. It's a 15-year-old kid on his iPhone, right?
Yep.
And I was like, if you're lucky, they'll come by and pull on your belt for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I understand they got to keep the line moving. So they do have a pressure to keep the line moving, okay? But I don't like that on a lot of these rides now, right before you take off, they joke that your seatbelt isn't on.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fucking funny.
No.
Especially because of what
And you
just
said
happened.
you would knock 'em out.
I said if I was with my daughters, and say he didn't even know they were my daughters, and I was oh, shit.
You were cooking, too.
So I was saying if I was with my daughters and before I took off, he joked that our seatbelts weren't on before
Yeah.
we were going up a roller coaster with my family, I would knock him the fuck out. And I just said TF. I said I would knock him TF out.
Yeah.
And I got banned for
And
that
you got
shit.
banned for 6
Yeah,
days.
that's bullshit.
That
dude.
is bullshit.
So all I'm asking Facebook, once we blow up, just always let people edit it.
Yeah.
Just let me edit it.
Yes, that's a good
Give me
call.
a chance. They did one time, but I think you only get one chance. You should always get a chance.
Yeah, every single
You know
one.
why?
They're like,
'Cause
okay,
it's-
no, this isn't cool. Like, just fix it.
It helps you correct your mistakes.
Yes.
To what they're, you know, because here's the problem with social media, okay? We'll all bitch about, like, we should be able to say whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's their platform.
Yeah.
It's their, it's not,
Private
it's,
company,
it's a private
fucking all
company.
that,
But
yeah.
here's where it gets tricky is because they influence elections and
Yep.
they influence politicians
Yep.
and they influence life.
Yep.
So at this point, I'm kind of sick of that cop out because it's not, it's bigger than a private company.
It is.
You know, I don't even know if it's a private company because they have shares and shit.
Yeah,
It's a
and
public
they
company,
have,
actually.
and like the CEO of Facebook is in the cabinet. He's
Yeah.
in Biden's cabinet. Like,
Right.
they have like these people from all these big corporations in government. You know, like the Secretary of Defense is the fucking ex-CEO of Raytheon. They build bombs and shit.
I know, so what
it's
do
it's fucking crazy, dude. It's the corporatization of the world.
It makes me sad about this podcast and going forward because I can't even say what I want to fucking say.
No.
So I always tell people, like, I'm a pack of Newports, but they're making me Marlboro Lights.
Yeah.
So I feel like what even I'm doing isn't even me.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's, so they are. It's
They are
working.
influencing.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
can't be me.
They're silencing your spirit.
Yeah,
They're
I got-
fucking muffling,
I got
dude.
so many funny jokes I want to get off.
Yeah,
dude.
you have so many,
the best
dude.
ones, dude.
You
I
do.
can't say them.
Yeah.
You know? And it pisses me off. It's
Yeah.
a joke.
That's why you got to go live, get on stage, brother.
It's a fucking joke, dude.
Yeah.
It's been driving me nuts lately, this whole joke thing. People getting too sensitive about jokes.
Yeah,
Forefather
that's weak.
karma.
Forefather karma.
Yeah, we're just paying for their sins.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
know?
guess so, huh?
You know,
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, they drug people through. They did some foul shit, you know?
Yeah, they sure did.
But then I remember my man, my dude at work, not Evan, he was like, you know how I chalk it up, yo? He's like, we were talking about history and stuff, and he's like, I chalk it up as just the way the cookie crumbles. Like, it just was what it was. This is a black guy
Yeah.
I'm talking to.
Okay.
He's like, it just was what it was, yo. Like, that's how he sees the past.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get too mad about it.
Right.
He thinks that, like, you look at other countries, like, dude, in Asia and Europe, they're all, like, it happened everywhere.
Yeah, and there is that point where you get to like, okay, now what? You know, like, okay, like, yes, white people were horrible to black people back in the day, and like, how, like, critical race theory, dude, like,
Let's talk about that.
critical race theory is crazy.
Well, I don't know. Do you know critical race theory, Evan, or not?
Not too much of it.
CRT?
CRT is what they
Well,
call it.
did you watch that video I told you to watch about CRT?
I started to.
Okay, well, I watched all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's one thing I learned that was debunked. They do not teach CRT to kids in school.
Right.
That's a lie. It's
Really?
a rumor. They
well,
don't.
supposedly, like, people are getting mad that they're trying to introduce it.
Okay, that's a different argument.
Yeah.
I'll accept that, but
Right.
I won't accept they do because
Right.
according to what I saw, they don't.
Right.
Okay? And B, it's tricky because, of course, white people take it as they're trying to guilt our kids and making them feel like pieces of shit.
Right.
Black people are saying, no, we deserve the fucking truth and our real history told. And guess what? People can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And white people have a very hard time accepting it. This is like a parallel example I use for podcast. This one guy gets tons of hate because he will never admit to the hate and he'll never listen to it. So they just keep hating and hating and hating, and he ignores it and he ignores it. And I feel like with white people and black people, that white people just deny it and put it off and like poo-poo it in a way. And it's like, so black people almost just want us to fucking admit what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
And we won't.
Well, yeah, like with all the terms within critical race theory, like
what?
like white fragility and white
What
guilt.
does that mean? What is white fragility? I
White
always hear you say
fragility
that.
is
What
like
do you mean?
whenever if like something's brought up about like slavery and how harsh it was back then.
Yeah.
And like a white person gets all like scared about it.
They do though. Like
Yeah, I know. It's real. It's real
because
dude.
we
That's the
didn't
thing.
do it.
Yeah, I know. And that's how I view critical race theory is almost like it's almost like been inserted to make race relations more.
So do we erase the
fragile.
past and not
No,
talk
no,
about it?
not
So then
at
what do we
all.
do?
We just keep on. We move forward with love.
Because
Really.
we lied before, though.
What are you
So how
talking
do you
about?
teach history if teaching them the real history is saying that it's growing racism? It's because it does. The problem with teaching that history is it does keep it going. But then what do we do? Just ignore it?
I'm not talking about like the teaching the history. Like we should definitely know like the real history. And I think,
But people don't, though.
What do you mean?
People don't want. What basically that's what they say they're doing, that they're just teaching the real history and how racism is integrated.
Is integrated in everything.
They want everybody to see that.
Yeah.
But then
and it's like I just feel like it should be like, okay, yes, that's how it happened. Like everything was like there was a race thing that was being occurred
They put love on
the
top.
beginning.
The top sandwich bread should be love.
Yeah.
So like the
so
sandwich,
it's like,
the meat.
Yeah. So okay, like our country was founded by a bunch of fucking asshole colonizing racist motherfuckers. Like it's true. Like it's there, and black people were obviously oppressed. If you can't see that,
Yes.
I don't understand.
Some
like
don't.
you look at the justice system. You look at just the neighborhoods. Like you can't.
I know.
Like, and you look at the war on drugs, how it was like
Crack
specifically, yeah, and it was all specifically aimed at black people. Like, if you can't see that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Neither do I.
But like, there's got to be a point where it's like, okay,
the love
like
part
we
of
see it now. How do we change it? Like we see it, and I think like critical race theory on a point is good because it makes white people feel that insecurity about like I'm a piece of shit white person, and I think that same type of thing was placed on black people before we were here.
But is it
you know,
fair-
as the colonizers, they were that insecurity about like, oh, you're less than because your skin color, you're less than, you know what I mean? And that's what critical race theory is doing to white people now with the fragility and the guilt and all that shit. And I think that's a good thing because white people need to recognize that like there is an issue, there's a fucking problem, you know. But then now what? It's like now what?
And again, I say
Where
it
do
goes
we go
back
from there?
Yeah, I agree. What do you like? Yeah, I don't want to keep talking. You can talk, Evan. But like, what do you think about if I asked you just straight up? Does teaching kids about the past just further spread hatred and racism?
No, I don't believe that because, like I said, my father taught me of the past, of different cultures. So I just think it gives you a better understanding of different people, different individuals, different nationalities, different cultures. So,
Well, but my pushback with that is a lot of times, like say like a grandma is teaching their young grandson about slavery. You don't think it kind of makes him feel that like all white people hate him?
no,
Like it's almost setting them up as like you can't like I sometimes parents almost are accidentally teaching their kid you can't make it in this white man's world, and that's not true. It's harder.
I don't think that's being taught across
All
the
right.
board. That's not how I looked at white people. I looked
Yeah.
to the way I was raised. I loved all people.
Yeah.
White people, Spanish people, Mexicans, before my own people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was taught. So when my father taught us about slavery and stuff like that, the people that enslaved me
Yeah.
are from France. It's not white people. Like America, I can't relate to American slavery because I don't know
Yeah.
what that is.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from.
But I
a
mean,
different-
let's be real though. Slavery, we also had like this 50s and 60s. I mean, it wasn't just
And
slavery.
but the people that were enslaving anyone, they were the rich people.
yeah,
you
my,
know,
remember-
like, it's
That's the
definitely
thing
a class
That's the thing
issue.
I really dislike about the word slavery is that it wasn't just white people enslaving other people.
Yeah.
Chinese was doing
yes,
to their people.
everybody, dude.
Like I said, Spain
It
was
was rich
enslaved.
people,
People
yeah.
don't talk about
Rich
Spain,
people.
Right.
France.
The
Besides,
Irish were
when you
enslaved.
think
Yeah.
about American slavery, people think about where it came from. It came from Europe. White people that's brought up in this country, 9 times out of 10, they against it unless you was taught it growing
Right.
up.
Yeah, well, my dad brought up a good point on one of the podcasts. He was saying that when there was slavery, what do you think happened to all the poor white people? All their jobs were taken. It was like similar to the Mexican problem now. So when all of a sudden they introduced slavery, what do you think all these white cotton pickers
When they
did?
stopped slavery.
Yeah, or no, when they
Yeah.
started slavery.
Oh.
What did all these poor southerner white
And
people
was
do?
their
That was their
job.
jobs. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden now
That's
black
like
people
what's
are doing it for
happening now.
free.
It's
Yeah.
happening with the robots, dude.
Yeah,
the
the
robots are
robots.
starting to steal everyone's jobs.
Yes, holy
it's
shit.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's like robots are the new slaves.
But
You know-
another thing that's not talked about, a lot of white people did die in those slaving times. A lot, especially
For
in
black
this country.
people.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
black
and they
people, you're right.
really, really believe that. And then they will hide runaway slaves in their house, risk their families' lives. And
Yeah.
sometimes, they
Should
get
be
away with it.
recognized.
Sometimes everybody's getting killed and then the house is just auctioned.
Yeah.
Well-
you don't hear these stories all the
No,
time.
and there, I
right?
mean, there's a lot of stories about just American history, like the Black Wall Street thing. And then there's the. Did you ever hear about the towns? And they're all over the place. I've only heard of a couple, but they're everywhere. Where like a black community would get together and start a town, and they'd start thriving. They'd go in and fucking murder everyone, and then fill the
I think
place.
it was
They
the
would
burn-
dam it.
Yeah, the burning of Charleston.
Yeah, they would.
Oh,
they-
okay.
It's fucking crazy, dude. There was a place in Georgia. They would literally build a dam and flood the entire town. So
Yeah.
and just to wipe it out. And that's the thing about like history, dude. Like it's really hard to know like what's what.
Absolutely,
It's
man.
really hard. It's kind of that's why it's almost. I don't know, man. We just gotta live together and fucking love each other no matter what.
I really believe what you preaching about. We all must, love is the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we all teach each other love, it's not, the way I was grow up is each one teach one.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to look out for one another. We are the human race. That's why, like, when I hear
The race is a human construct.
One race, yeah. Dude.
Yeah,
And
like-
that's the truth. And anything outside of that is
We're different
racist.
ethnicities, but
Yeah,
we're
and
one
culturally
race.
we're different, but we're one race. Like we're 99.89% alike.
right,
You know?
So there's no, difference, disparities besides that. But America was founded on bigotry and racism.
Yeah.
No, the
Just-
world was. I think the world. I saw some comment. It was like America. Something about America is all about hate or something. I'm like, that's like damn near every
I think
country
that's
deals with this.
Yeah.
We're just so integrated. We have so many different people. If you did this in any country, I mean, there's some are better than others, but racism definitely isn't an American thing.
No.
It's
No,
it's all around.
I think
you know?
it's a worldwide
Like
thing.
like
Yeah.
like
And I think-
Chinese people hate Korean people.
Yeah.
Hate Korean people. You can't even date you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not an American problem.
Right. And it's like I think it's all injected into our societies by like the upper class, like the rulers. Like Babylon is using it as a tool of division. I've always seen that racism is a tool of division.
Yeah.
You know, and then they just pump it saying like it was just used that way, and it
So
still
how,
is.
give me an example of I'm not disagreeing with you, but when you talk about division, like give me an example. Like, so what are they dividing for? Like, just so for people
to keep us fighting against each other.
for what?
Because if we're fighting against each other, we're distracted from looking up and seeing exactly what's going on.
So that's to you what like their division is for.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keeping us distracted.
And then and then there's tools of oppression like the war on drug. I think that's a large tool of oppression.
Yeah.
You know, like they wanted to oppress black people So they made this certain thing illegal, and then they
Crack.
pumped it into the fucking communities, and then they would tear apart families and shit. Like, and they were already poor and they were struggling, and then they found this fucking drug that like made them feel better.
Yeah.
And then they would like there were people that couldn't get jobs, so they would start selling it. Like, it's just a whole fucking...
Well, let me just add on that. So for people that think that's bullshit, the problem is that Coke, which was like mostly rich white people doing Coke, had like a far, 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 far less sentence for getting caught. But crack's the same thing.
Yeah.
So how come the drug that white people use, they know white people use,
Right.
you don't even get any time for
Exactly.
it. But the drug that... And white people, because people are like, well, white people smoke crack too. But... It made sense, the argument I heard about the Coke thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, it's weird that they would make crack like so much more illegal. It's just all that shit. And like if you look down into it, it's actually from a fucking plant. Like heroin's from a goddamn plant. And then you can get into like how it's like actually it's disrespectful to the planet is how I see it. Like because these are plants that if they were respected and we actually had more knowledge about them, they could be used properly as medicine.
The answer's in the ground.
It is, dude. It's the earth,
the pharmaceuticals, like
and
companies.
the pharmaceuticals. It's hijacking, and that's actually disrespectful to the planet and Mother Nature and creation. Like that's fucking disrespectful.
I was thinking about
that's
it.
why everything's fucking crazy.
I was like, dude, if I had shrooms, for some reason I was thinking about it today. I was like, if I had shrooms in my trunk, maybe not now, but like I could get arrested for having a mushroom that I found in the backyard.
Yeah,
but like I could have perks on me.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
And you're cool.
It's so weird. That's what makes me so mad about marijuana. It's like my boss at IPS can come into work and openly joke about how shit-faced he got for the Super Bowl, but somebody who smoked a joint and watched The Sopranos could get fired.
You could just see
it was my fault.
How these motherfuckers, how our leadership is just completely against us. You know, because it would be a much healthier society if marijuana was legal. You know, and it's still federally illegal. Like they just don't give a fuck about us, dude. And that's really what opened my eyes up to like the oppression and how like our leadership just doesn't give a fuck.
Well, I think it gets
and that's where the real war is between lower class people. It's a class war.
Well,
they're trying to keep wars going everywhere else.
I think it gets to a point now where sometimes you can be so in deep or whatever indebted or so you're in so deep that there's no way out. So like we're so embedded and in deep with these pharmaceutical companies that they have so much power over these politicians that it's so you can't go against them or you lose your job.
Yeah.
Or like it's almost like they can't or something. Like they're these masters, like the puppet masters. Like it's hard to fucking climb up that goddamn string and take out the puppet master.
Yeah.
It takes somebody
That's why
like
it's gotta start with everyone here.
Yeah,
like,
and
it's got to start down below. The lower class has to start loving more, and then all the hierarchy will just start to fall into the puddle of love.
I know, but people love to hate, man.
Yeah.
People have so much, they just want to hate, or they just, I don't know, man.
It's crazy, dude.
So I think to wrap everything up we said, at least to wrap up what I said, I think that there's a way to teach our history and then putting like love on it and then teach how far we've come.
Yeah.
So teach your history, the right history.
That's what I was gonna say when you were talking about how your dad taught you. Like
Right.
it's how you teach it.
How you teach
Yeah, you don't teach it like. I just feel like there's some ways that teaching things is too aggressive to make people feel like shit.
But like
Almost
I
like
said,
t-shirt.
you know, me growing up learning about Nazis and the Germans didn't make me more or less hate the Germans, but gave me an understanding of why they did it.
But I think that's like I think that's a little. Your situation is a little different because when you're, let's say, you're a young black male, okay, and let's say you have a racist dad who went through a lot of, like, he went through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and he's like telling his son about it, and like, oh, it's a white man's world, and just keep saying that, which may be true then, and maybe there's an element of it now, but it's almost like ignorance is bliss. If your young son thought that the skies was the limit, that's how he would act. That sky's the limit. But when you tell him the sky's right here, he may never even try because he's like, oh, my dad, man, white man's gonna win anyways. Type attitude. So I think that's why we, again, how you teach. You can teach the past with, like, you could still make
it's like a way to understand, but now what?
That's where we need to get to.
Yeah, we
teaching
do.
it the right
I feel
way.
like it's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Nothing. Yeah. So we can wrap it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to pee my pants.
Yeah, we're good. So,
Pissed,
anything you want to say? Anything you're doing?
I'm
Last
just
words?
excited to be at the Church of Wise.
Yeah.
My first time here.
No doubt,
you know, I'm tired of seeing this on YouTube all the time. I actually get to be here. So
Does it feel surreal or anything? Or
Yeah, it does. I'm tired of watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Really? On my TV because I watch everything on my TV.
You watch it on the TV?
Yeah, I don't
No
watch
shit.
it on my
Yeah,
phone.
you watch it
Oh,
on the
fuck
TV.
yeah, dude.
Cool,
TV's
man. So you're
better.
here.
So, you know, Derica sometimes would be
Yeah.
annoyed because she heard Jason from downstairs. Like, he in the house. I'm like, no, it's on TV.
I'm everywhere,
right
man.
there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
everywhere.
So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm, you know.
Dude, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously,
hell yeah.
like the fucking just to get this shit rolling again.
I know.
Like
Right,
we've been
man.
waiting. I feel like the whole thing's been waiting on me because I try to do my own
Oh,
thing.
yeah, everything
And I
takes
got it
time, man.
rolling.
Everything
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
For sure.
You can be
But
a
no, this is a
regular.
big step, dude.
Yeah, you
like
can
it
be a
is.
regular.
And
Yeah,
the what the
dude.
fuck but why story, this having you here is a big step.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It
Much
is.
love,
We're
man.
pushing
Much
it. You're
love.
helping us push it forward, bro.
Oh, yeah, that I am, man.
Hell yeah.
So-
We're here.
All right, cool, man. So, Lackawanna, the social prophet, my man Evan, we're out. Wow, you're looking at me. Look down. You see that, right? Behind my laptop down here. Subscribe, support. Seriously, you know, we work our asses off to supply content to you. So pay it forward, pay it back. Like our channel, god damn it. Shout out Styles. I think this is how it goes. This is the Church of Why. What the fuck but why? Episode Who the fuck
Who the
knows?
fuck knows? Who knows?
Yeah, dude. So, hey, but there's a lot of shit going on in the world and a lot of sensitive stuff.
Lots of
Stuff that
sensitive
people
shit.
get really mad about.
Triggers, lots of triggers. People are out there fucking trigger.
Yeah, lots of triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the swimmer real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so if you so you're gonna call me a bigot because I think a man shouldn't swim with women? That's how it
Just
should
because
be.
I've never heard that.
That's why I should be president.
Social prophet, yo.
Yeah.
You're fucking coming out with a banger right there, yeah.
Bow, bow, bow.
And it's
I don't get why
wish
you've
we
never
knew.
heard that before. I
don't
keep
know.
saying that in comments before I got banned. Fuck you, Facebook.
It's such a touchy subject, and like what sucks is that the rage and like the emotion that people who are for trans people, and I'm like, we are for, like both of us have said, we're for trans people.
I'm for if people do
I'm
whatever
for
the fuck they
people.
want.
Yeah, dude, I'm for free choice.
This is why there's so many layers. That's what I was getting to. There's layers of this shit.
And that's where all the hostility comes in.
Yeah.
Is that. And it's nuts because like you really do have to put yourself in the position of the swimmers that are already swimming. Like the women, they're just, the trans people are coming in and breaking records.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, and people,
Because remember last podcast we said like we're not going to talk about black people unless there's a black person in the room.
Right.
And then we started talking.
And then we started talking about black people.
Yeah. But you know, just to further maybe put our foot in our mouth, I say we just keep going with this. Let's just
All right.
keep talking about shit that could get us canceled.
Okay.
Yo, I got a question. If black people are offended by the use or the word N-word, then why the hell do they use it all the time?
Yeah.
You know, you can't say it.
I know.
But anyways, who cares? I'm not scared to say it.
No, yeah, go ahead.
So like, why can't white
The
people
wind
say,
has gone, the invisible come, your memories are being run, the mountains scarred by invisible bars, the stillness